year ago, there was a dev summit in person. We all saw the picture earlier, and we said, okay, let's do Prometheus 3. And in my back of my head, it was already, yeah, but if we do that for PR reasons, I cannot have that old UI. I will be very unhappy. This is the old UI, right? It's, who finds that pretty? I can say it, I built it as well, and it's not terrible, but you know, it's pretty cluttered. So yeah, this as well, like this is the old alerts page, quite a lot of like big colors in your face and all that. Lots of like cluttered filters at the top. The graph page as well, a bunch of checkboxes you can see here at the top. You know, buttons here, and you know, it's okay, it's not too bad either, but yeah. This is the new UI, and the whole idea here is the following with the new UI. Basically, you know, not a radical departure, just less clutter, make things look more pretty. More consistent also in terms of filters at the top of the pages, not a bunch of millions of different checkboxes that you rarely need to use. It's still React, but Bootstrap has been replaced by Mentine, not only for styling, but as a very extensive and nice React component framework. So if you want to build a web application and you're not very web proficient, like I am, then I can really recommend this framework. uplot is replacing the old and unmaintained flot for charts, which also means that not all features like heat map for histograms and so on are supported yet. But hopefully will come. But there's also some cool new features that I want to show. But first, here's again more of an idea of the new UI. This is the old one, targets page. This is the new one. Or if you have like a broken target, you can also see like a little pie chart indicator, like how many up versus down you have for every target pool. You can collapse this, and so on. Menu structure is a bit more cleaned up and structured here, right? And it shows the title of the page you're currently on in the status menu. Old alerts page, new alerts page, just a little bit like less like full-on colored. Okay, now some cool features. Here's the old UI. I'm trying to build an expression with a binary operation. And I evaluate it, and I get this error, and I'm just annoyed, and it's a text field. And some of you may already know PromLens, where you can then have actually debugging functionalities for this kind of situation. So in the new UI, if you get this problem, you can now say, hey, explain what's happening to me here. And it's actually saying, hey, you need to enable the tree view. I could click this button, or I also have this option, this little submenu where I hit away some of these previous options that are not so frequently used, and you can have a show tree view icon here. And here you get this PromLens style tree with your PromQL query really laid out as an AST. You can hover over different labels and see what label dimensions and example values are present at each sub-expression. And you can also see where in the query the actual evaluation error occurs, if it is an evaluation and not a parse error. Otherwise, I cannot show you the tree if it's a parse error. And then you can actually click on the binary operator here, and we can see what is broken. So if we scroll down here, oops, it's telling me, hey, I saw some match errors, and you know, like each grouping that it detects, it will show you what the grouping between the left and right-hand side is. And it will give you some hints as to how you could potentially fix this and what's wrong. So in this case, adding a group left would be the right thing to do here. So if I do that, group left, then we'll see this tree is actually working, and I can explain this again, and you can see that now these match groups are nicely matching up. So this can really like help you fix those binary operators that either return errors or that return an empty result because something doesn't quite match up. You can also show label sample values here if you want to. And yeah, you can do similar things for, you know, like aggregators. You can let them get explained to you. You have function documentations in here. These are synced from the markdown of the Prometheus website. And yeah, so that's the tree view for you. It's really cool. It's just a really cool way to get kind of an insight of what data you have at which sub-expression. And then we also have a new metrics explorer where you can find metrics and then pick one. So again, hidden in this submenu, explore metrics, And yeah, let's say we want to go into this histogram here. We could directly insert it at the current cursor position. And we can also see, right, the metadata for each metric here. And so I could also say, hey, let's search a little bit in here, like for this one. And I'll go inside that, and I can actually explore the labels on the metric. So I can see, for example, all the bucket label values, right? Then I can build gradually a filter. Let's say I want to have only the first instance, and I want to only have the 500 ones. And you can see that it gradually builds up the selector at the top, which you can also affect again. So, you know, I can build kind of my selector in here. I can then insert it at the cursor position, and then whatever I had like selected previously will get replaced. So if I run that, yeah, now it queries the rate for that metric. I had the rate expression previously, just the metric placeholder selected. What else is there? There's a dark mode for the dark mode fans. And I hope that the dark mode roughly looks a little bit better than previously, you know, also for the other pages. I think it looks kind of pretty for the tree view. Like if you enable that, like that. Well, in this case, it's a bit boring. But yeah, that's the new UI. It is still super beta. I've been basically just pushing to a branch like a madman for half a year, and you're going to definitely find bugs. It's not perfect in every corner yet. But yeah, try it out, give me feedback, file bugs, and so on. And I hope you enjoy it. And then, yeah, I think that's it for me.